thought I would do something different today and do a short little story time of when I was learning to drive because, oh my gosh, I had some weird times when I was learning to drive. To give you context, I had three instructors. It was in the middle of COVID, so there was a lot of shifty, shapy changing, which was fine. The thing is, with hierarchy and disability, when you have to rely on someone to teach you, there's always that weird scenario of you've got to listen to what they're saying and respect them, but they might not necessarily be comfortable around disability or know how to communicate with disabled people. Now, all of these people were trained in hand controls, so you would think that they were pretty good with disabled people, but oh my gosh, I don't know what it was, or it was just coincidence, but I had some odd scenarios. One of them was actually really nice, and I think that was because one, well, actually, probably not his age, but he had a disability himself, so I think he had that kind of knowledge, and he knew. Do you know what I mean? I felt the safest with him because he got it. The other two. And I just thought, I'm just going to share a few things that they'd say to me. So, when I first started, learning to drive, obviously you're not behind the wheel straight away. And I was in the car, and obviously they try and get you to chill and relax, and you're just chatting, chit-chat. And that's the other thing about being disabled sometimes. When you're visibly different, people don't know how to do small talk, and they just go straight into disability. So the first driving instructor tried to do small talk, and I can't remember what it was originally about, but I tried to show that, I was just a normal girl, in quotes, just doing what people my age do. And I was talking about going out, like going to a club. And he just laughed and he was like, "You go out? Do you go dancing?" So shocked. And I was like, "Yeah." And then straight away I felt unsafe because I was like, why is it so shocking? And he almost laughed as if it's funny to see someone in a wheelchair going dancing. Very odd. So I was like, okay, well, this is the kind of situation we're going to be in. He was asking a lot of questions around disability, and I think if it's about driving, then fair, because if you need to know, how strong you are, or whether you can do one thing or the other, but his questions was like, have you ever tried to walk? And I'm just like, when I'm learning to drive, this is not what I want to be talking about. I guess right from the off, I was like, oh, but I really need to learn how to drive, so I'm just going to carry on. And the thing with my situation was there was only so many people that were trained in that type of car, because mine was hand controls. So I was like, I'm just going to have to push through. Anyway, I think I tried to change, and the woman on the phone just didn't get it. She was like, well, what's the problem? And I tried to explain. She was like, but is there any issues with driving? And I was like, well, no, but it's kind of putting me off because I can't concentrate because I'm being asked these questions. Anyway, long story short, she didn't care. So I was just like, just gonna have to get through it. Anyway, other circumstances happened and I had to change again. So this was my third one this time. And this one, fair play, I passed, so I won't go too hard. But it was just really weird comments, my brother's like you, he's got no legs. I've got legs. So, I mean, he's probably meant, disabled and whatever, but it was just very odd comments. Bearing in mind, at this point, I am driving, I'm trying to concentrate, and I know that some non-disabled people will be watching this thinking, oh, he's just trying to connect, he's just trying to be nice. But I think there's so many times where disabled people are just trying to do what they want to do, and it's almost like you have to be this saint that has to accept and educate people 24/7 when driving was actually really stressful, and like it was something I'd never done before, and physically, it was something new and something that I was really building my body to be able to do. I didn't want to be talking about what I can and can't do, blah, blah, blah. That was one thing he said. But the worst thing he ever said was, bearing in mind, my fear was roundabouts. I hated roundabouts. I don't know what it was about them. I just would tense up every time I got to a roundabout. One day, we were at a roundabout, a very, very busy one, and I'm like doing the, look left, right, left, right, left, right. And just as I was about to go, he went, have you ever noticed people staring at you while you're driving? And like, I tensed up and I was like, uh, well, no, not really, because I'm driving. Like, that's the last thing I'm looking at, to be honest. I'm looking at the road, I'm looking at signs. Like, when you're learning to drive, you're looking at everywhere. Like, you're still learning what to prioritise and what not to prioritise. And I was just like, that is something that should have been filtered. You didn't need to say anything like that. And to be honest, like, I never kind of take notice unless someone's like a pedestrian, like looking into the car, which, to be honest, like I've got hand controls. I think my dad would look because he's interested in like engineering. So I've never really cared people looking while I'm driving because I'm so proud of it as well. To be honest, I just thought it was a really shitty thing to say, and he didn't think about it. So learning to drive for me was quite stressful, and it just made me think. I don't know why I was thinking about it when I was driving, and I just wanted to give like maybe some supportive words to disabled people who are learning to drive, or you thinking about learning to drive, or whether this stumbles upon some instructors at any point, like how important it is to be treated as just a standard learner like everyone else, because there are extra barriers when you're learning to drive as a disabled person. You're learning what you can and can't do, you're navigating a whole new world, you've got internalized ableism of like, I've got to get this right because I can't look disabled, I can't possibly, get it wrong, when actually it takes so much time. And I think actually learning to drive for me was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done because I wanted to get it right straight away, but it was just such a physical, emotional, mental challenge, like it is for everyone. So yeah, I just thought I would share that. And to people who are like, oh, you should report that. First of all, I tried and nothing happened. And second of all, when things like this happen, it happens a lot. It happens in everyday life situations. So you've really got to pick your battles. And I just want to learn to drive and get it done. And now I'm on the road and I absolutely adore it. But yeah, definitely was the hardest thing I've done. I do think there's a gap in many industries on power, hierarchy, and disability, and how the people that we're taught to respect might not necessarily respect you the way that they should. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's just a bit of a thought dump today. Not really got much structure. But I'd love to know in the comments if you're disabled, whether you've had similar experience, whether that's like teachers or someone that you were looking up to guide you, and it didn't really go how you thought it would. Very interested. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Oh, give it a like if you enjoyed it. See you next week, Sunday. I'm thinking about changing the times actually to evening. I've not got loads of subscribers, so I don't think it's that dramatic. But yeah, I think I'm not a morning person, so I think I'm going to change to like 6 p.m. But I'll put it in the community post situation if I do decide that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.